Hey, good day. This is Bob James again from Daily Enduring Truth Ministries. And you may hear some extra sounds today. You may hear the waves crashing and the wind blowing. That's just Corpus Christi. I'll explain a little bit more why I'm here in just a bit, but just a reminder, you'll notice that I've got the bandana around my neck. Yes, I wear a mask when I'm around people. People say, well, that won't help you, Bob. That's probably true. My mask doesn't help me as much as it helps other people, because the idea is not to stop the virus. It won't do that. The idea is to disrupt the flow of the virus. So instead of going straight out, the air that circulates will be disrupted by the mask, and it sends it down. It sends it off to the side. It doesn't send it all out in one concentrated stream. I'm amazed at how many people who are Christians are saying, well, I don't need to wear a mask. It's not going to protect me. I'm not afraid of anything. You know what scares me more than anything? Is that I may be infected, not realize it, and pass it on to somebody else because I decided I wasn't going to wear a mask. So nobody's around here, so I'm not wearing my mask right now. But we need to work hard. If you follow the New York Times, you'll realize that an article about Corpus Christi was in the New York Times about how fast we have become one of the hot spots for coronavirus in the nation. And part of it may be because people realize, hey, we could go there because nobody is getting sick there in Corpus Christi. And now it's become a hot spot. So please be careful wherever you may be. Don't be traveling right now unless you absolutely need to. I speak as somebody who's now living in one of the hot spots. I speak as somebody who's had to reschedule an appointment for a cancer checkup. My wife has had to do that. So be very careful. Now, why are we here by the sea? I'm going to turn around so you can see. In fact, we got the sea in the background. And what looks sort of like a cliff behind us. Well, if you've been following the story of Jesus as I've been leading in the Bible study, you'll notice that Jesus, first of all, crossed the Sea of Galilee. Now, probably the sea is what we would call a big lake. It isn't even as big as some of the Great Lakes, but the Sea of Galilee is its name. He crossed it in the middle of the lake, in the middle of the sea. He calmed the storm. And then he arrived at a place called Gerasenes or Gennesaret, the Gadarenes. It has a few different names. When they arrived there, they arrived not too far from a graveyard. And they were met by a guy who was demon-possessed. It's an amazing story. First of all, as a Jew, you wouldn't want to be around tombs, around a graveyard, especially not a Jewish graveyard, especially not a Jewish cemetery. And yet here was this Gentile man that they met at the cemetery, or outside the cemetery. He lived in the tombs. Nobody could control him. It's an amazing story if you think about the situation. Now, one of the questions that I have is, didn't Jesus know where he was going? Did this happen by accident? Well, the storm blew us off course and we landed here. And as I understand Jesus and who he is and how he works, everything he does and did, everything he did and everything he still does has a purpose. And he brought his disciples to this area, the area of the Gadarenes, so that they could speak with this demoniac. And it was an amazing story. Now what's amazing is when Jesus cast the demons out, he actually answered the prayer of the demons. Because they said, oh, please don't cast us out. Let us go into those pigs. There's a herd of swine up there, or pigs. And guess what happened? They went into the swine and they jumped, and the swine ran. It created a panic and they jumped off the cliff. They drowned. Well, that's crazy stuff. And to be honest, long ago I preached a sermon in a series called Wednesday Night at the Movies, and I used this story as an example of a horror story. Now the horror isn't the demoniac. The horror is the fact that the people, when they saw that he was healed, didn't want Jesus around. They were scared to death of Jesus because he had done through love what they couldn't do through force. So, show people the love of Jesus Christ today. Change people's lives and let the love of Jesus Christ flow through you in amazing ways. This has been Bob with Daily Enduring Truth. Have a great week.